what's going well. Okay, let's start with the fitness because the fitness is
always easier.
I was like, well, the schedule is pretty solid. I mean, I follow the new morning routine, which is working out phenomenal. All it took was just that little tweaking, which I should tell you though, because this is hilarious. The last time that we checked in and we're going through this new schedule, I get all these DMs from people and they're like, is your coach planning every hour of your day? Like she even asks you when you go to the bathroom. And I'm like, this is important to know. But anyway, I thought it was hilarious. But I
when is she going to talk about nutrition? I'm like booking your calendar.
I think people forget though, like everybody says we don't have time to do things.
Yeah.
When you can see your day and every hour is mapped, you'd be surprised on how much time that you can find to get stuff done. So it's important to see where you mess around, Yeah. But anyway, so I get up, I do the workouts, I do the LSD, sometimes in the morning, sometimes I save it for lunch. It just depends on the day. Yeah. But I mean, pretty clockwork. At least the movement part is. The nutrition part has been interesting because when we left from the last check-in, because I noticed that it had slowed down a little bit. The weight loss had slowed down. And I shouldn't complain even at 2 pounds a week because there's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly healthy. And then the flip side to that is that, that slowing down period, the last time I lost all this weight, it happened way earlier. I mean, it's something I would have seen in like February, but it took until May, end of April, first part of May to kind of hit that slowdown. So, I mean, it was expected. And the other part that was expected is that we were changing all the workouts. Like we added all this strength and it's like, you have to figure that this stuff is going to happen.
Yeah.
So we did our last check-in and, we had talked about a couple things, like maybe prioritize the vegetables instead of the fruit. So I did that for a week. Didn't notice anything significant. And so I'm like, well,
energy level, like soreness, nothing. Okay.
No. And so I was like, well, that didn't do anything. So I was like, okay, well, let me go back to what I was doing before, where it was kind of an equal, equal balance. That was 2 weeks ago. And then all of a sudden, everything started changing. When I say changing, girl, I've been so tired, taking naps in the middle of the day, tired every day for the last week and a half. And I'm like, first I started looking at the workouts and I'm like, am I getting too much? I almost started thinking, shit, maybe I need to back it down from 6 days a week down to 5. Because this week was the first week where I get to Thursday and I texted Pete and I'm like, I need a day off. Had never happened, which hadn't happened since the first of the year. And I'm like, I'm just tired. All I want to do is sleep. So then I go to my sleep, my trackers, right? And I'm looking at the sleep. I'm like, am I getting enough sleep? Is that the problem? I'm looking at all my numbers. Everything looks good. In fact, I was looking at my tracker this morning, yesterday, 9.5 hours of sleep because I'm trying to prioritize sleep this week. 9.5 hours. And that day I still took a nap in the middle of the day. So I'm like, what is going on here? Nothing is different in terms of the foods that I'm eating. Maybe different variances. There are a couple things that I tracked though that I noted that were a little bit different. Like my body seems to be craving bananas.
Okay.
For whatever reason, I can't get enough. Now I'm watching my calories every day and I'm making sure that I'm staying within my areas, but I am eating probably way more bananas than I would normally because that's what it wants.
So
And
that could be coming from the muscle gain.
Yeah.
Because in terms of like contraction, you'll need the calcium, you'll need the potassium, you'll need magnesium, which you could be getting from the bananas. So like that secret craving isn't coming from nowhere. Like it's coming from your body telling you that it needs something, and it understands that it's getting it from the banana.
I knew it was like, I know it's coming from somewhere. Where was the question?
So have you re-switched since you went back to, you tried more veggies and you went back to what we were doing before? Have you noticed that's when you started feeling more tired?
Yeah, that's when I started feeling way more tired. But I did something else did happen this week though. So I did the and maybe this is relevant. That's why I'm going to bring it up. So I had the third in-body.
Yeah.
So this is number 3. This is the third time where the score has gotten better. So it's getting incrementally better. But then Amy brought up something over the weekend, and I never paid attention to this visceral fat area, but that number is also improving every single time.
Okay, good.
This muscle, there's a one on here where it's talking about like lean muscle.
Yeah.
That is also climbing exponentially.
Okay.
So I thought you should know that. But I have all 3 here. I should scan them in and show you.
So that's good. So what I'm thinking is if you're gaining the muscle mass, you need more energy. You need actually eat more.
That's what I was thinking too, but I didn't want to touch my numbers.
Yeah, it's just like super scary. So I know last time you had done the what is it called? Like your basal metabolic rate, like to determine how many calories. I would say, especially now that you know that you're increase your lean muscle mass, we need to figure out where you're sitting at right now. Because if we stay too far under what you need, the weight loss will slow down. You are going to get tired. You're not going to be able to put the intensity in your workout. And that's the huge, that's the component of the nutrition. You need to stay fed so you can put the intensity in your workouts. And in your day, and then like everything, because like good that right now, like if you can't take a nap, do it, because that's like it's good. Your body's also building muscle while you're sleeping and things like that. So if you can do it, but it's not everybody that can. So if you need the time because you need to work and not sleep, then we need to make sure that you're staying fed.
I think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what's happening. Like just right now, like I could go to sleep right now. Yeah. And I haven't even done the workout yet. Normally I do it in the morning, but not today. But that's all I want to do is just sleep. But no, I wasn't going to budge any numbers until I talked to you.
Yeah.
So the BMR was 1547, but that included moderate activity. So when they told me, like, what are we talking about? He was like, we're not talking about CrossFit workouts. We're talking about like getting like your normal steps in every day, typical movement.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would get that. So we can either test it, right? Like increase your veggie portions, increase your fat portions. I don't think you need to increase your protein. That's probably fine. But you can either test it out, eat a little bit more, find what is visually and just like stomach wise, like satiating, like making sure that you're not overeating, like something that you can wrap your head around. Or you can just go get it tested, see what the numbers say, and then kind of come back.
Protein has always stayed. That was kind of one of the things I took away from that first 8 weeks was the protein. I've always kept it 50% or above. That seems to be working fine. Body seems to like it. Body seems to love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think.
Would you be more comfortable increasing your carb intake or increasing your fat intake? In terms of even like taste buds, like would you prefer to eat more cheese, nuts, peanut butter?
Here's the thing. Interesting question. because also one of the things that I took with me that I did learn from, and the reason why I made the decision and agreed with that in the beginning was I don't get a lot of bang for the buck on the fats. Like the nuts, the avocado, although they're good and they're wonderful.
Yep.
Because the calorie counts were lower because my BMR is just naturally lower.
Yeah.
I couldn't get the gains I was looking for and stay full. So the goal was to stay full. And I kept that and I liked that. So when I'm thinking about like, hey, could you get more fats? Good, but that would mean bringing in the stuff that I've tried to stay away from so I could stay full.
Yeah. So then we can focus on the carbs.
I think carbs are easier. Fruits and vegetables are super easy for me. Fruits are really easy. I mean, bananas.
Yeah.
I mean, I can get
right now, definitely like if you have, like I said, if you're having that craving, make sure you're eating the bananas because they're giving you something that you need.
Yeah.
So like, don't be afraid. And then we can look at, and could do quick research of just like, what's the composition of a banana? And then like look at other foods that would have about the same kind of ratios in terms of like, what's the second highest in terms of potassium, or what is the second highest in terms of like what the banana is made of, that it's getting you in terms of micronutrients. And then that will give you a little bit of variety. But we can reverse engineer it that way.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't been ignoring it. I've been popping those bananas.
Yeah.
So find something else the same micronutrients as bananas. Can you think of anything off the top of your head?
No.
I couldn't either.
I'm high in potassium.
What about
I'm doing potassium sources.
Yeah.
Apricots. So
you got to be careful with those. What about watermelon?
It doesn't say watermelon. There's plenty of potassium in.
I mean, like in 2 big wedges of watermelon, you get like 500 milligrams of potassium. Or avocado.
Yeah, it said avocado, almonds, walnuts, spinach,
cantaloupe. Hey, cantaloupes are on here. Kiwi. I have kiwi in the fridge. Why haven't I been eating more kiwi? I love kiwi. It says the ones with the highest are bananas, cantaloupe, oranges, grapefruit, apricots.
I'm not getting orange. I saw. I'm not getting cantaloupe.
It says, let's see. MedNet has it. Fruits with the highest potassium: bananas, cantaloupes, oranges, grapefruit, apricots, guava. I've never had guava. Maybe I should try it.
Try it. Might be hard. Like, that's the other thing. You'd be in California and you'd get some good ones. Like, how much do you want to spend? For one. Right? Like, it's always a little bit of that.
Okay.
But you can. But this is giving you kind of like,
yeah.
When you go to the supermarket, that's what you can kind of look of like what is going to be in season right now, fresh. It'll taste good. It'll last. Because you still have to shop at your supermarket, so it's like.
Yeah.
Makes it harder. It's like orange. If you see you have like good oranges, it's not really orange season. Like, so.
Oh, we got great oranges here.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. So I can do oranges, cantaloupe. I have a cantaloupe in the refrigerator right now. I have watermelon. I have kiwi. Great plan. Okay. I can eat more of those. Okay. So should we shift the the carb numbers so that it's higher on the fruit side than the vegetables? Is that what we're going to try?
So
With
I
these
would,
specific,
so based on like what you're eating right now, I wouldn't change the vegetable content. I would just try to like add a portion of fruit.
easy
Because
peasy.
because if you're feeling tired, and we'll see what it does on the scale, but if you're feeling tired, you're not like eventually you just won't have the energy to put into your workouts or your work. Usually the workouts are the ones that are going to suffer, not your work. So ideally we'll just increase the fruit intake, keep everything else the same, see how you're feeling, see how the scale reacts, and then we can adjust because we need to get your energy levels back up. So even if that means we're stabilizing your weight so we can get the energy back up. If you have the energy, you'll have that to put into your workout, and that should bring you back down. And it's not like you're going to eat 3 bananas. You're going to have like a portion. That should be fine. And it doesn't have to be every meal. So you can start with one meal. Is it going to be your lunch? Is it going to be your breakfast? Is it going to be your supper? Like you can choose one meal where you're going to increase your fruit portion.
I'll just do it at breakfast.
So if that's the easiest, if that's the one that you enjoy the most, like, yeah. So do that for breakfast. It'll also be good because like you'll have the rest of the day to see how you're feeling. And then everything else stays equal. So we're only changing one thing.
So we're not changing any of the calories.
Well, the calories are going to go up because we're adding up, like everything else is going to stay equal and you're increasing your fruit. So your calories are going to go up, which is fine.
Okay. How much should they go up?
It'll depend on which fruit.
Yeah. You figure one portion would be about 100 extra calories. A kiwi's like 80.
Yeah. It's not going to be but that much.
No. Okay. I was looking at the so that's what we think is happening. So from the last InBody, this was done at the beginning of April. We're now sitting at the end of May. So there's been a 3%, 3.5% muscle increase.
Nice.
That's a lot.
Yeah. That's good.
You think it's all the LSD?
No, it's the squatting. It's how you squat. It's the squatting. It's the strength training that you're doing. It's not the slow. I mean, you could be building calves as you walk, but like it's the strength portion.
Well, here's another interesting thing. I did my measurements, right? And at first I was almost panicking because my thighs increased by an inch.
That's the muscle.
Yeah. But I was actually kind of proud of that. But the thighs did go up and the calves stayed the same. Okay, well, that's that.
So that's good. So if we're adding the fruit to breakfast, overall, you might be adding about 100 calories, which is fine. And if you want to make sure that you're not overeating that portion, then just use the zone blocks. Like just do one block or two. I'll be like a banana.
That's easy enough.
Like watermelon is 125 grams. Like you'll kind of see it like stay within something that is reasonable. Like 1 to 2 blocks won't you're not gonna have 3 blocks of strawberries. Like I know that. So but a banana, like bananas are 45 grams. So depending on the size of your banana, it's like half or a third. So you either go and buy small bananas or you put it back in the fridge. I know you won't do. So you need to buy small bananas.
You know, when I'm adding like the 1 portions of bananas and it's like what, 25 grams or something like that. It's like that much banana.
Yeah, you need like a third, like you need.
It's like 2 inches. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, who eats 2 inches of banana?
Yeah. But the big ones, like some of the chiquitas at some period of the year, those are like 3.5. So that's why like at this point, I'm not worried. Like, even if you were eating that, I'm not worried. I'll be like 150 calories, fine. Like, you're burning it throughout the day anyway, and we need to readjust your energy levels. But just in terms of like making sure that we were keeping track, you can use the zone blocks to make sure that you're staying within 1 to 2 servings, like portions for any of the fruits, because they're all equal in terms of the macros that they're bringing. The calories are going to be different, but the macronutrients are going to be the same, and that's what's most important. So,
Okay.
yeah. That's exciting.
It is.
You get to eat more. Yay!
We'll see what happens with that.
You know, it scares people because we're also doing a nutrition challenge at the gym, and it's like, I was like, guys, you need to eat the full bag of spinach from Costco and then some. They're like, I'm eating a salad. I'm like, you're eating air. So you go eat some broccoli, eat like veggies, eat some carrots, like do something. I'm like, do you want to eat this whole cucumber? Because that's like one portion. Everybody's like, no. I'm like, then you're under eating. This is why like your weight is where it is. Like you don't have the energy.
True. That's true. It doesn't like it doesn't scare me. Like I know, like I've done this long enough now and so many times that I'm like, no, something's off.
Yeah.
If progress stops, something's off.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that
you're building the muscle. You are doing all this exercise. You need to fuel it.
Yeah.
Where a lot of times, like people they either don't build the muscle because they don't have the energy to put in their workouts, or they just don't have the fuel to push. And it's like, if I give you more energy, you're going to give me more energy. Like more is going to come out. So it's not just a question of like restricting everything. So we still want to keep track because like you could overeat, like you could be, and if anything, your weight will just stabilize because that means you're getting the equal amount. And if anything, your energy level is also going to increase and you'll be fine because you're going to be at where you should be in terms of intake and output, right? So that's not the end of the world either. And then we can always backtrack back. But we need to make sure that you're feeling energized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With the things that you love. So.
Yeah. Something else.
Yep.
There's definitely some wins that are not necessarily showing up on the scale, but they're definitely wins.
Yeah.
Well, one of the first ones was I had noticed it the first time. In fact, I talked to Hiller about this on one of our check-ins, but after my knee surgeries, they put me on estradiol because a lot of the function wasn't coming back on its own. Mm-hmm. So they had me taking estradiol and progesterone at the beginning of every month to try and kickstart, the cycles because they weren't happening on their own. Well, since January, it's happened every month on its own. I'm off the pill.
Okay.
I haven't had to take any of them.
So that's good.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you're, and everybody's like, oh, like if you're too low in body weight and body fat percentage, you're going to stop your period, right? Like really sporty women, really thin, like Olympia, like, oh, your period. And it's like, no, because if internally and everything is healthy, then those are like, every woman has their own cycle and that's, going to be to each their own, but it doesn't stop because you have low body fat. It stops because the diet and what you're feeding your body isn't controlling the hormones properly to make sure that everything is staying in line with healthy baseline, like what it should be. So what that is telling us is that internally everything is working well and you are medically healthy, which is the goal.
Yeah.
Right? Like blood pressure, like everything when you go see the doctor, like things that are measurable and repeatable, like if those are on par, then we're on the right track. So that's really good.
I was actually really excited because I thought it was maybe a spoof at the beginning, like in January. Yeah. And then I thought, okay, well then February came and I'm like, I guess it could happen twice. Now it's happened every month.
Yeah.
This is the greatest thing ever. And my doctors here's the interesting thing though. I called and talked to my primary care who's prescribing these. And she's like, Athena, you still have to take them. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I don't think you guys understand. Like the body's doing it by itself. It's happening like the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
But her recommendations was like, no. You need to take them anyway. Just
Well,
between
I
me
mean,
and
I'm
I'm
not a
sure
doctor, so if there's a reason why that would still need to happen, then I don't know, and she can explain that to you. Because to me, if it's happening on its own, then it's good.
I stopped taking them. That was my call.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so
know
if she really wants you to keep taking them, then she needs to explain what would be the negative health issue. Like, if you stop doing this, like, what are the negatives?
That's what I asked for.
Yeah. And if she can't give you any, then it's like, well, and you're feeling good and everything. Like, I mean, but again, I'm not a medical practitioner, so I'm not going to tell you, yes, like, stop taking your meds. Like, I don't know. It's your body, you decide. And if she can pinpoint to like what would be the dangers of potentially like stopping this drastically or whatever, like, do you need to be weaned off? Is there anything else that it could be causing from getting off the meds? Like, there are real medical consequences to medication, but that's
when they prescribed
I'm
those,
not gonna.
When they prescribed those medications, they were like, your body still needs to function properly. Yeah. And if your body is not doing it by itself, we need to make sure that it's happening. But this is month 5 in a row now where I got comfortable enough to say, whatever I'm doing, the body loves it and function is back to normal.
Yeah.
AKA, therefore, I shouldn't have to take these fucking pills anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you're in control. You know what you want out of it. That's a discussion for, like I said, like you and an MD. And she can, I don't know what they're doing. Why are you printing stuff? What are you doing? Sorry. Cool. Okay, but go talk over there, because like, sorry, Jeff is like right there and printing and like I'm like trying to stay focused. I'm like, listening to you. Sorry about that. But yeah, like I said, like, you're in charge. You know how you're feeling. There are definite like medical things that you can discuss with an MD, but in the end, it is your choice. As long as you're informed and you're making an informed choice, like if it was actually life-threatening, I don't think they would let you do it. So,
she told me when she prescribed them, she just wanted to make sure that the sheds were happening every month, because if the sheds don't,
but now they are,
builds up, and now they are. So I was like, 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah.
So
what other ones do you have?
Well, so when I had surgery, I ended up having to put this great big garbage bag full of clothes into the closet because I had put on weight during surgery. So I put all this shit into the garbage bag, put it in the closet. And my mom was over last weekend and she's like, you ought to jump into that bag and see what's going on, And I was like, yeah. So I pulled the bag out and it was like Christmas. All this stuff that I haven't been able to wear in like 3 years.
Yeah.
4, right? So it felt like I got to go shopping the other day, which was really good timing because everything I have is getting big. Like, the interesting thing is that it's not showing up on the scale the way that I would love, but it's definitely showing up on my body. The t-shirt that I just got at Proven last month is too big.
That's awesome.
I know. It's I'm not complaining. It's awesome.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like this scale, how could we need to bring back to like a scale is only measuring like you against gravity. Right? Like a ton of rocks and a ton of bird feathers is a ton. They're not going to take the same amount of space, but there's still a ton. Like, that's all the weight is just your representation of like you against gravity. It doesn't calculate your size. And usually that's what people are looking for. Right? Like, we're trying to get smaller, not necessarily way less, because if you have muscle mass and bone density and all these things, you're not gonna look the same. You can weigh the same, but you're not gonna look the same. So that's good. That's good.
It was fun, actually. It was a lot of fun. So I got to put away a lot too. Like I had to go through like the little dresser area and pull out a lot of the stuff I was wearing in January. Like all the 3s and 4s are pretty much cleared out now. Sitting at like right about a 2X in just about everything now.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was a win this week. So it's showing up in other places. So I feel like as long as I keep seeing progress there, and as long as my movements are improving.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I just posted a video yesterday about the squat depth. Like it's noticeable.
That's amazing.
It's probably a good inch or two. And
your butt's going to grow too. So just warning you.
I know.
As you squat more. So like just
like, as if I need
the pose fitting differently as well.
But that was cool.
Yeah.
Because it's not just a win like on the weight loss side, it's also a win to be able to get that kind of angle on the knee, which they said I would not be able to get. I still can't see that I'm below parallel yet, but we're going to keep working on it.
I feel like you would be.
It doesn't look like that in the video. It's still like, it's not quite below parallel. Although people
I'll go back and look. So it really depends. Like, I have a piece of paper. Like,
I was like, I can't tell, but it doesn't look like it. Not yet. Are you going to look at it?
So this is my little stick figure. Wait, hold on.
Okay.
I'll put a head on it.
Good one, by the way.
That's real. Yeah, that's real art right there. So your hip, wait, it's opposite. Your hip and your knee. I need to do it opposite. So the issue is that we have mass.
I feel like it's thigh mass. Yeah, exactly.
Right? So if you're looking at the 1 where the mass is versus 2 where like your hip is,
yeah,
and it's going to give you like, that's why people like, and this is where it's a no rep. It depends what point on the hip you're looking, because like if you're looking at where the thigh is and where it meets the body and the hip, that's going to make it look like you're not hitting below parallel. But if you look at the actual like hip bone as you squat, that's going to be right. Like it's not the same. So I feel like you're just below parallel, but I'll go back and look, but that's like the debate. Ideally, everybody's just like squatting to full range of motion of the hip, which is like 160 degrees or whatever it is, 120. But you look pretty deep to me.
Well, like sometimes I think that we talk about this in our seminar too. It's like at some point, you bottom out, meaning like if my butt is because of its size, it's touching the back of my quads.
Yeah. You're not gonna
be able to get any lower. They're like lower. Where am I gonna go?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe that will improve as I get rid of some of the mass right here.
Yeah.
But that was a win. And Pete's been really pushing me on working on, let's see, what kinds of stuff have we been doing? We've been following CAP for the most part, but we've definitely been adding in lots of strength. Working on like grips and being able to hang from the bar, squatting. Still working on stringing lunges together.
Yep. What's your best lift? Your press, your squat, or your deadlift?
Deadlift. Max deadlift right now is around 315.
Nice.
Press, like an overhead press?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. That's a good question. What was my last score? Yeah, no way in hell I'm pressing 300 pounds overhead. Gosh, I want to say like a strict press. My best strict press was like 120.
Nice.
What was the other one?
Squat.
Back squat. I think my best was a 185. So those are kind of all over the board, aren't they?
But like you said, the squat's going to be the hardest, usually, just in terms of like angles and proportions and where you have your mass. Like eventually, it becomes like hard. But those are things that, like, as you're working on your strength, like to get small wins, like pick one. Like when you go do your walks, like you can do 15 seconds arms up, and I'll just build some like endurance overhead for your press, and then we get to build some muscle mass on the top, get everything equal. You'll just be like walking around your neighborhood like
What? I was like, that's a great visual. I'm walking down the road. I was like, the neighbors are gonna love that. Yeah, that's all I can.
Did you notice for the LSD, because you said you were gonna listen to podcasts to study for your level 3? Like, have you kept your heart rate?
I have.
Okay, good. That's good.
Yeah, I'm still doing it in the same amount of time. I thought that maybe like what you were saying, like the beats might affect there, but not really.
Okay. And coffee after 2 p.m.? But is it because you've been feeling tired that we're...
It's because I've been feeling tired.
Yeah.
So I broke my own rule.
Okay.
But
this is the thing, like you need to keep functioning. So we need to bring, like, if you're feeling tired, it's a way of getting you back into like work mode, which is not ideal. And that's something that we can work on in the next 3 weeks. But that's going to come from making sure that you have the energy throughout your day to not need the coffee.
Right.
So we can have that as a goal.
Yep. I don't think I need to tweak my schedules anymore. I think everything is running like clockwork, really.
So keeping the morning routine, keeping the night routine. That's good. Is there anything coming up that we would need to plan for in terms of like work schedule that's changing or any travels that are coming up?
None for like the next month.
Okay.
So nothing that I need to accommodate there.
Okay. So we're going to add the fruit to breakfast. Yep. 1 to 2 blocks max. So you can use it'll help you study for your level 3 as well. You can get to know those by heart. No more coffee after 2. So that, like, it's not a strict rule. Is as you feel like the energy is coming back, ideally you're able to just kind of wean yourself off after 2 p.m. And then we're keeping the morning and the night routine and just staying consistent there. Would you be able to get your metabolic rate, your basal metabolic reassessed, just so that we know where you're sitting in terms of calorie, like in the next month or 2? Was that already scheduled?
I have not scheduled a newer one. When we got to the first number, that was through a study at Mayo, and it took like 6 months to get that number.
Okay.
Now, I know that I can go in. They do have tests. I don't know if they're quite as good, but there is this machine that they can hook you up to that will give you data. Mm-hmm. I just need to refresh it.
So you can see what they can do there. I know that some of the machines that do like VO2 max and all of that, you have to go in like in the morning without eating, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Like, kind of like if you go for blood work. And then the only thing we would need is like just compare, right? Like and I'm just throwing out numbers, but let's say your first one said 1,500 and this one says 2,000. Okay, but how does that compare to your original test? And we can kind of extrapolate, and it's not going to be exact because it won't be the exact protocol that you did this the first time, but we can still kind of figure that out.
Coffee after 2. That's tough. Yes. Okay. So I know that the same people that do the DEXA can also do the VO2.
Okay, so you should ask if they have it. And then, like I said, it's just to give us a baseline. Ideally, they also know, or we can also find online. It's like when you do like calories, like my Whoop, like how many calories am I burning in a day is going to give me like 3,000. And then I would wear a Fitbit on the same wrist doing the same thing, and it's going to say you've burned 3,000. Like every machine is going to have its level of precision and its algorithm and whatever. Like we should be able to figure out from what you did originally and this new test what would be like the difference, and then just kind of extrapolate and make sure that we're in the same ballpark.
That's a great idea.
But in the end, like we still need to take it with a grain of salt, because nothing is like, even you're running on a treadmill at 12 kilometers an hour. It's like, yeah, are you at 12? Are you at 12.2? Or you like, whether you're using your GPS outside, like everything has a degree of variability and nothing is perfect. So we just need to reassess and know where you are now. Because like I said, like if you are far below where you need to be right now, then we're not helping you with the weight loss.
Let me ask you something, because I don't know. When I originally got those numbers from Mayo on the BMR, are they going to improve? Meaning, say it was 50.
Your calories should go up. Because
Are
the
it's gonna-
demand, yeah, because the demand from your body as you're building more muscle mass, more bone density, like all of that, like you need more horsepower, right? You're gonna need more gas. They shouldn't be staying where they are. Like if you think about it, like why do Olympians need to eat 8 to 10,000 calories a day? Because they're like muscle, the activity, like all of that. Like everybody's numbers should be climbing as they get fitter, because you're getting more muscle mass. You need to repair all of that. And then everything, like your liver is working more, your pancreas, like everything that our body needs to do, like it needs to do it, and it needs more energy. So it should be going up. It shouldn't be going down.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why people, like coaches, are saying you need to strength train if you want to lose weight. Cardio is great and it burns calories, but it doesn't give you that permanent kind of increase. Like when you have the muscle and you keep it, you're actually building to be able to lose more weight.
This was a slightly contested conversation a couple months ago, when the conversation was like, Athena, if you know, the goal is weight loss. So if you lose muscle mass, it's fine. And I was like, mm-mm.
Well, yeah, because people don't want to lose, people want to lose weight. They don't want to lose mass. Like I was saying with the scale earlier, it doesn't tell you what's inside. It just tells you what it weighs. And like, yeah.
But like, you can,
like I'm heavier now than I was in my 20s, but I'm smaller than what I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and it's, so it doesn't tell you, like weight is just weight. It just tells you it's just a number. It doesn't tell you the quality of your movement. Doesn't tell you like the quality of what's happening on the inside in terms of like, do you have cholesterol? Do you have high blood pressure? Do you have like all these things? You have high sugar blood level. Like it doesn't tell you anything. It just, this is how much you weigh. And people attach a number to that, and it's like, but that's not where it should be. And it's like, I understand why, but it doesn't tell you anything about the quality and the health that you have. It's just a number on a scale. It's just gravity on your body.
Agreed.
So,
okay. So
people are usually like surprised at how much I weigh.
Really?
Yeah. I'm 150. Like I'll make a round number. I'm 150 and I'm 5'9". I'm the same size as like runway models who are 5'9" to 5'11", and they weigh 115 pounds, and that's kind of heavy for them. I'm 35 pounds over that, and I'm practically the same size because I'm a size 2 to 4. And I'm 35 pounds heavier. But they have no muscle. they're birds. They're also young, so like their bones are
They're birds.
they're birds. Like your bones are just like not fully tested. Like I've strength trained, so like I've had a DEXA scan in the past. Like my bone density was higher. It was above normal. And I'm like, yay, because then that means I'm not going to break when I'm 75. Like that's what we want, especially as women, to have high bone density.
Right.
So it's just like people are always like, oh, that's, and I'm like, I'm heavy. But that's just the weight. That's not my size.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're tracking the weight so you can track your progress, and that's just one way of tracking your progress. But that's usually not what people are actually looking for. It's the size. It's what they look like. It's how they feel.
Totally.
So
I don't care as much. I don't care about as much on the scale as I do.
Well, for you, it's more a question like it's a target. Like we're aiming in that direction.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you don't want to lose muscle, like especially in terms of function. I don't want you to lose muscle mass.
I just feel like everything in the body is jiving the way it's supposed to, and we're seeing it in other places because everything is functioning normally. You start losing some of those. You will start seeing it, I think, in places like having to take the medication, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Okay. So the goal for Athena is to schedule a new
and like I think in like within the next month or two, it doesn't need to be right away. I would rather have like your energy levels back up, see what's happening on the scale, see all of that. And that will give us like a number. So it doesn't have to be like tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. Next month.
Yeah.
Okay, boss. Got it. I'm interested to see where that's going to go.
Yeah. Well, I hope the
first one that I've been sitting here going, I don't know why I didn't think about redoing it, but it might be time.
Yeah. Yeah, because like if we do it in the next month, it'll be 6 months apart from the first one. And that would make sense to, with the progress that you've made, to see where you're sitting. And like, I mean, if it recommends that you go down, like I'd be very surprised.
Well, July would be 6 months. We just passed 4.
Okay.
Yeah. So June would be June 15th.
So then,
5 months. Yeah.
So that's why, like in the next month or two, see what they have, see what your calendar's like figure. And also like, we don't want to break the routine. So like it gives you enough time to keep your routine, plan it, make sure it all fits. And then like for this back half of the year, have a new number that we can work off of. When's your next DEXA scan scheduled? Do you have them like every 3 months?
I have them quarterly. Yeah. So the next one is at the end of July.
Okay. So
that would be the end of second quarter.
Yeah. So then we'll have all those numbers all together.
I do 10 bodies every month. But I mean, I do those. It's good data. I don't know how accurate it is, but I do the DEXAs just to do side-by-side comparisons. So
yeah, the DEXA is going to be more precise than the in-body.
But
the in-body is still something that you, like you said, you can just compare that to that. Yeah. Because you can't compare a DEXA to an in-body because they're not using the same technology and the same so, but you can compare the in-body to the in-body and see the trends. So
that's what I've been doing. I was like, all I'm concerned about is the trends.
Yeah.
I don't dig too far into the numbers on the in-bodies.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see.
Yeah, it's encouraging to see the data and like track and see the progress, because that's the thing. The number is just the progress or the lack thereof, in which case we need to readjust. So
right.
Yeah. Yay. Anything else before next meeting?
No, I think this is some good stuff to work on. I'm excited.
So let me know how adding the fruit to the breakfast.
Yes.
I'll be looking for fruit in your pictures. And then
lots of fruit. Huh?
And then the coffee.
And the coffee.
Eventually. But like I said, like it should feel easy to not have it. If you're still needing it, then for now, like go through your day, keep everything else the same. Like we don't want to. I don't want it. I don't want anything that could potentially break your routines. So if it's taking too much effort to do something, then the effort's going to come out of something else, and that's not what we want. So have the coffee. It's fine. Like have it before 3 p.m. Like we're good.
Hey, I'm still committed to ditching it by 2.
Yeah.
Even if it's something I have to work on every day, at least in the morning I get up and I say, hey, Athena, no coffee by 2. It doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
But I'm trying.
Yeah. And then we're keeping the routines, and then we'll schedule the reassessments.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're all good. Excellent.
Yes. So I will see you in a couple weeks. I'll report back.
Yes. I'm keeping track.
Well, I'm going to watch it this week really, really closely, and I'll send you, because what's really cool, and we'll talk about this on the next one, but I've been using Macro Factor, and what it does is it changes. So it changes. It's all based on algorithms. So depending on what I'm putting in, it looks at the number on the scale and it adjusts. So it's adjusting those calories every day. Sometimes I'll check in, it'll say, I'm increasing your calories by 4 today, or we're dropping the calories today by 18. And it's constantly monitoring that algorithm. I'm going to be interested to see what it does this week, because I'm going to be putting in like, give or take 100 more, and see what it does. And if it changes the, like the, it's super cool. But I'll see what it does there too. Because it adjusts the daily numbers on its own.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to see what it does this week, but I'll remember to track that so I can talk about it with you to see what it did.
Perfect.
We'll see how accurate this thing is.
Yeah. Well,
we'll see.
Let's see.
All right. Well, thank you.
Well, it was nice talking to you.
As always.
And we'll see each other in 3 weeks.
You got it.
Bye.
Bye.